Yeah, now yes, yes. Minister.
So folks would like to welcome the Charles William Press Hall here at the Ministry of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism. Today, regular medical press briefing will be addressed by the Minister of Finance and Development of Liberia, Minister Augustine Ngafuan. And a moment from
Distinguished
now,
colleagues,
we will
ladies and gentlemen of the press, I'd like to welcome you to the Charles William Press Hall, where our national press conferences take place. Mr. Charles William died in 1985. He is discharged of duty. Our Excellency, the former President Johnson Salih for the wise to name this hall in his own. Without much ado, I'd like to invite the young and energetic happy Minister of Information, Cultural Affairs and Tourism, Honorable Daniel Sambo, who will make his introductory comments, after which he will officially introduce to you our guest, Mr. Sambo.
Augustine Ngafuan, who is currently seated towards the details of the national government.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. Good afternoon to our distinguished platform guests. Let me now take the time to announce the conspicuous presence of the Honorable Minister of Finance, Honorable Augustine Ngafuan. We arrived here with Interage. He will make the proper introduction of the individuals who accompany him here when he arrives or when he takes the podium. This is his debut appearance in the new dispensation. That is since the new government took over and he assumed the role of finance minister. This is his first time here. He comes here at a time when the draft national budget, of course you already know, was submitted yesterday to the presiding officer of the House of Representatives by His Excellency President Waka. So, Minister Ngafuan is here to provide you with detailed information on the draft national budget as it was submitted to the national legislature. I'd like to encourage all of you in the press to please take your gadget in silence to avoid distraction. Before I invite Mr. Ngafuan to the podium, I will stand on the existing protocol to make the following remarks on behalf of the government of Liberia. His Excellency President Joseph Waka is in several for high-level discussions with President Julius Malabio on regional development and growth. President Waka and his entourage of high-level delegation departed Liberia yesterday and were received by President Bio. This trip marked the beginning of a visit that highlights the enduring partnership between countries. As a arrival in several rooms on yesterday, beginning of a landmark 4-day working visit that is intended to enhance bilateral ties and foster regional collaboration between the two nations. While in several, President Waka and his counterpart, President Dr. Julius Malabio, are expected to hold discussions on transformative initiatives aimed at advancing economic development, regional stability, and sustainable growth. Key discussions during the visit will also center on boosting trade and investment, improving infrastructure, and advancing joint initiatives in agriculture and tourism. Regional security and cooperation under the Mana River Union framework will also be top on the list of priorities. The visit will include a bilateral meeting at the State House in Freetown on the day, followed by a ministerial meeting and the signing of a joint communique. President Waka will also engage with the Mana River Union Secretariat and participate in an agriculture and tourism fair hosted by the Liberian Embassy in Freetown. The government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, has welcomed a high-level delegation of the African Union. The delegation led by Her Excellency Anna Nebi is in the country to engage in collaborative efforts aimed at mitigating the impacts of climate change in Liberia. The quarter-day visit held on Monday, November 18, 2024, at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs marks a significant step towards strengthening cooperation between Liberia and the African Union on pressing climate change issues affecting the country. During the meeting, the Acting Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Gabriel H. Silly, expressed profound gratitude on behalf of the government of Liberia to the African Union for its continued support, particularly highlighting the assistance provided to flood victims across 11 counties in Liberia. Mr. Silly underscored the urgency of addressing climate change, which has exacerbated natural disasters in Liberia, including increased flooding, soil erosion, and unpredictable weather patterns that have severely impacted agriculture and livelihood. For her part, Her Excellency Anna Nebi, head of the visiting AU delegation, emphasized the AU's commitment to supporting member states in addressing climate-related issues. She noted that the AU recognizes the disproportionate impact of climate change on African countries and expressed the AU readiness to collaborate with the government of Liberia in designing and implementing effective climate adaptation and mitigation strategy. Lastly, I'd like to inform you, members of the press, that the trial of the former Finance Minister, Mr. Samuel D. Twe, and co-defendants resumed tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Criminal Assassin C at the Temple of Justice. The trial is set to resume on justification of the bond because it appears that the bond is now fit to meet the test of time as the property in question is not tax compliant, consistent with Liberia Revenue Code, and the prosecution will be questioning the owner of the property that tendered the bond. From the analysis conducted on the bond by bond expert, it appears that the defendants are in trouble. We encourage you, members of the press, to follow these proceedings so as to provide sufficient updates to the public because the fight against corruption is a priority. The vital administration, everything as a country we work and put together. The media is no exception. That being said, let me now seize the moment to invite to the podium Honorable Augustine Ngafuan, Minister of Finance of the Republic of Liberia.
Honorable Daniel Sado, Acting Minister of Information. Dedicated team. I was joined here today by my team of deputies, some other colleagues from the Ministry of Finance. I have the Deputy Minister for Fiscal Affairs, Honorable Anthony G. Myers, Deputy Minister for Budget and Planning, Honorable Tanya Bronson, Deputy Minister for Administration, Honorable Bill McGinn Jones, Senior Program Advisor in the Office of the Minister, Mr. Baba Sila, one of the veterans from the Ministry of Information. Honorable Acting Minister, Deputies and Assistant Ministers present, members of the press, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Let me begin by extending heartfelt gratitude to the leadership and team at the Ministry of Information for this invitation. Last time I was a guest in this Charles Graham Memorial Conference Hall was during the height of the Ebola crisis in 2015. At the time, I came in my capacity as Minister of Foreign Affairs in Liberia to speak against the mounting wave of stigmatization of Liberians across the globe on account of the Ebola crisis and actions that the government was taking to address the situation. Today, I've come here in the same Charles Graham Conference Hall to talk about a much more optimistic subject, the draft budget for fiscal year 2025 that spans January 1, 2025 to December 31, 2025. Fellow Liberians and friends of Liberia, as you may know by now, on yesterday, November 18, 2024, our President, His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai, submitted the draft national budget for fiscal year 2025 to commence the review and approval of the budget. Pursuant to Section 17.1.1 of the 2019 Amendment and Restatement of the Public Financial Management Act of 2009. The total revenue envelope of the draft national budget for fiscal 2025 is projected at $851.8 million United States dollars, comprising core revenue of $833 million United States dollars, or 97.8%, and contingent revenue of $18.8 million United States dollars, or 2.2%. Of this amount, domestic revenue constitutes $791.76 million United States dollars, or 93% of the total revenue. This includes tax revenue of $633.72 million United States dollars, or 80%. Non-tax revenue of $138.5 million United States dollars, or 17.4%. External resources amount to $60 million United States dollars, or 7% of the total revenue. The resource from the World Bank, $40 million United States dollars, and the European Union, $20 million United States dollars. This represents a 50% increase in external resources from 2024. FY 2025 draft national budget, we are projecting an increase of 15.3% over the fiscal year 2024 recast budget of $738.9 million. The increase in the resource envelope is attributed to the steady performance of domestic revenue, especially taxes on income and profits, goods and services, and international trade. The Liberian economy is projected to grow by 5.8% in 2025, up from a forecast of 5.1% in 2024. 2025 projections are based on strong performances in the mining and mining sector, 8.5%, the manufacturing sector, 6.9%, agricultural and fisheries sector, 5.2%, and the services sector, 5%. The top two contributors to GDP in 2025 will be the services sector with 38% and the agriculture and fisheries sector with 29%. The rest will be mining and farming of 19.2%, forestry at about 8%, manufacturing at 6%. The growth forecast for the period of the arrest agenda 2025 to 2029 remains promising, with an average growth rate of 5.9%. This upward performance will be influenced by investments in public sector projects and the mineral sector, supported by structural reforms in key sectors such as energy, trade, transportation, and financial services. Members of the press, fellow Liberians, under the visionary guidance and leadership of His Excellency, the President, this administration is making significant strides through deliberate actions to invest in programs that have real impacts on the current and future well-being of our people. Consequently, in this proposed budget, we are increasing the proportion of public sector investment program expenditure, that is the PSRP expenditure, from $67.4 million in FY 2024 to $98 million in FY 2025. This will be supplemented by an additional $6 million in the contingent budget when the contingent revenue is accordingly realized. The growth in PSRP expenditure represents a 54% increase. As a result, the ratio of PSRP expenditure, the overall budget will expand from 9% in 2024 to 12% in 2025. The 6% of PSRP allocations totaling $87 million, is dedicated to multi-sector projects under the Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, AID. The government's development plan for 2025-2029, which we are set to launch in the next few weeks. The allocations for the Arrest specific PSRP projects are meant to initiate projects and programs for the first year of the National Development Plan. Let me say the allocations in the Arrest agenda, the PSRP, only supplements the normal allocations in the sector ministries and agencies. In agriculture, we have allocated $7 million under the PSRP for the first year of the Arrest agenda to robustly fund critical interventions in agriculture value chain programs. This will enable acceleration of research, increase extension services to producers, and commence the drive towards value addition in the form of processing, storage, and distribution. In in order to unlock the economy, we must build more roads and other infrastructure, opening access to other parts of the country. To this end, we have allocated $52.9 million United States dollars, including $37.6 million United States dollars for the rehabilitation of major roads. This will encompass the rehabilitation of rural roads and the construction of daily bridges across the country. Also included in the envelope is counterpart funding for ongoing works on key road corridors, such as the Saclay-PA-Zwedu segment of the Seacrown project, the Sanikwale-Lugatuo Highway, and the Salaye-Bian Town section of the Banga-Benikoma Highway. An additional US $15 million United States dollars has been set aside for other infrastructure improvements, and the Pliable Roads program launched earlier this year by the government to ensure that all major road corridors in the country are pliable. In education, we have allocated $7 million for PSRP projects, of which $4 million is for the renovation and expansion of the school facilities operated by the Ministry of Education, the Monrovia Consolidated School System, and others. Funds we have also allocated funds to ensure that the digital transformation program, which is set to continue for 2025, will continue seamlessly. Also, strengthening school feeding to provide nutrition and set children on the path of healthier school life, and support agricultural outputs through the procurement of locally grown food products. We've allocated funds also for that. Rule of law, a total of $4.4 million has been proposed for various projects, including the ongoing renovation of military housing and to commence renovation works on the barracks of the Liberia National Police located on 14th Avenue in Monrovia. The anti-drug program, the Push Must Go, counterpart funding for the proposed, and counterpart funding for the proposed new Temple of Justice complex. In sanitation and health, we are proposing under the PSRP to spend $14 million United States dollars for major projects, including drug revolving funds at community pharmacies, electricity and capacity expansion of the John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital, reconstruction of C.H. Brenning Hospital in Magibi County, Jackson F. Doe Memorial Hospital in Nimba County, from a regional referral hospital to a national referral hospital. Also included are allocations for basic urban sanitation under the Clean Cities campaign in Monrovia and Pinsville cities, landfill project in Cheesemonberg City. In tourism, we are seeking legislation to create an autonomous tourism board, and we propose $500,000 United States dollars, both in the core and contingent expenditure categories of the budget, for various interventions, including the development of plans and marketing strategies for the tourism sector to enable us to leverage our vast tourism potential. Members of the press, fellow Liberians, in the draft budget for fiscal 2025, President Joseph Duma Bartley has authorized the allocation of more than $16 million United States dollars to fund the first set of measures, the multi-year effort aimed at addressing some of the remuneration concerns and challenges in the public sector. First, we have allocated funds to ensure that beginning January 2025, no central government employee earning monthly salaries below the US $150 minimum as provided for in the Decent Work Act of 2015 will receive less than, no government employee in such category will receive less than $150 as monthly gross salary. Second, we've allocated US $2.6 billion in the FY 2025 budget to enable the Ministries of Health and Education to begin a multi-year process of addressing the perennial issue of volunteer workers after an exhaustive and thorough vetting exercise is conducted by the two ministries in conjunction with the CSA and the Ministry of Finance. We recognize that the cost to fully put all volunteer workers on the payroll is very high, hovering around $15 million, which the government cannot fully afford the FY 2025, given the competing demands on the fiscal space. Third effort on this path, we have allocated nearly $3 million US in the draft budget for 2025 to ensure that beginning January 2025, nearly 2,000 teachers receive certificates, B certificates, associate and bachelor's degrees, who are currently being paid below their respective pay grades, will receive salaries commensurate with their qualifications. Fourth, we have allocated funds in the draft FY 2025 budget to add at least $225 beginning January 2025 to the salaries of specialist doctors in the health sector who are being paid below their pay grades as the first action in the direction of fully regularizing their pay. The fifth measure in our set of one-year actions, year one action rather, is to adjust the salaries of additional number of employees. This measure will ensure, when approved, will result in a monthly salary increase of between $25 and $50 for various categories of employees. Nurses, midwives, and physician assistants will receive $50 US salary top-up per month, while other health workers will receive between $25 to $40 based on their levels. Other government employees in the agriculture and security sector, including AFS soldiers, EPS, and police officers, agriculture extension workers, will also benefit from monthly salary top-ups, ranging from between $30 to $40 per month. In sum, about 28,200 government employees, representing 45% of the government workforce, are set to benefit from various forms of salary top-ups in fiscal year 2025. This proposal from the President is approved by the Honorable Nigerian Legislature. The sixth and final part of the 2025 income support strategy entails implementing the provision of the National Security Act of 2015, which mandates the government of Liberia to cover the insurance costs for all active duty police officers. In the first ever implementation of this law, over 5,000 members of the Liberia National Police will be provided with insurance coverage fully funded by the government of Liberia beginning January 2025. This initiative is expected to offer additional support to these dedicated individuals who continue to sacrifice for our collective security under challenging conditions. Members of the press, fellow Liberians, as good as our spending ambitions for 2025 are, we need to raise the projected revenue to actualize the spending ambitions to support critical interventions in sectors, including the health and education sectors. Raising the projected revenue will, in some instances, not be a walk in the park. It will require a host of revenue-enhancing measures, as well as rigorous, scrupulous, and honest enforcement by the Liberia Revenue Authority and other revenue collection institutions of government. It will also require the full support of all branches and institutions of government, as well as the full cooperation of taxpayers. Members of the press, fellow Liberians, the 2025 budget of $851.8 billion represents an increase of 12.9 million United States dollars, or 15.3% over this year's budget. As significant as this jump may seem, we are the first to concede that it does not address all the development ambitions and challenges of spending entities in our people, especially considering the fact the resource requests for 2025 of spending entities amount to roughly $2 billion. So, the allocations we have made in the 2025 budget should be seen largely as a significant step in a multi-year journey to address the development ambitions and challenges of our country and people. In subsequent years, the government intends to do more so that every succeeding year will be better than the previous year. Finally, I want to use this opportunity to lift thanks to the hard-working team of deputy and assistant ministers, directors, analysts, and technicians, as well as support staff of the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning for the time and effort put in the budget preparation process. I also want to thank the Commissioner General of the LRA and his team, the Director General of the CSA and his team, and other heads of government institutions and their teams, and partners who work closely with us in the budget preparation process. For the past 3 weeks, the budget preparation team of government, members of the budget preparation team of government, have been pulled up at the Ministry of Finance for long hours, sometimes up to 2 a.m. in the morning, working on the budget. For nearly 3 weeks, these dedicated employees of government have had no holidays, or we jokingly say, for the past our weeks do not end. It has been difficult for these dedicated employees of government to answer the calls of loved ones and friends because they have been attending to the nation's call. On behalf of President Joseph Newman Boakai, I want to say thanks to everyone for putting country first above all else. Lastly, I want to extend our profound thanks and gratitude to President Buckeye for the support and guidance given to us throughout the budget preparation process. The President has been insistent that when we think Liberia, love Liberia, and build Liberia, the draft 2025 budget encapsulates President Buckeye's and the government's intention to do just that. Before I receive to my seat, I want to state one of our firm commitments to transform the Ministry of Finance is to ensure that all employees of government receive their salaries before the end of the month. We have therefore taken actions, including re-engineering business processes to make that happen. Our commitment is that, barring unavoidable technical and exogenous circumstances and challenges, all government employees will be paid on or before the 24th of the month. Beginning this month, we have begun the full rollout of this new re-engineered payment process. I'm therefore pleased to report a payment of government employees for the month of November 2024 began on Friday, November 15th, and the salary accounts of employees of government and upwards of 40 government spending entities have already been credited. And we will continue to, and we will monitor to ensure that our October 24th deadline for all employees, and we mean all employees, to be paid will be met by the team. Mr. Acting Minister of Information, your team and colleagues, members of the press, thanks a million for this opportunity. Thank you, Mr. Minister.
Augustine Ngafuan is the Liberian senator. So here is it that from the
Minister of Finance and Development Planning of the Republic of Liberia, Minister Augustine Ngafuan, reading out the fiscal year 2025 national draft budget here at the Charles Conference here on Capitol Hill at the Ministry of Information, Culture, Affairs and Tourism. So,
Well, listen to the minister, he spoke very well.
Watching,
When the minister spoke,
joining us.
did a job, very easy for all speaking for the government. Because when you provide a police officer, no government employee will earn below 150 as required by the minimum wage bill. It is not just a laudable venture. It tells you that you have a serious government. While others are reducing salary, we are here to increase salary to make sure that our people can make a little money and improve their living standards. You have listened to the minister. We take, when the users go, you get there too many questions. Yes. Yeah, they use spotted now. So, family, please use your discretion in taking the questions.
Thank you, Minister. The question before economics.
Thank you very much. My name is Augustine Sharif, and I report for the Liberia News Agency. Minister, thank you very much for your expose. But during your deliberation, you underscore the need for the construction of roads and other infrastructure. I want to know as to whether you are taking into consideration the energy sector, which has been highlighted as a pivotal point in turning every economy around.
Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. My name is Prince Simon. We use people. Regarding expenditure, which sectors are being prioritized?
afternoon. My name is Dr. Babu. I'm Vice President of the UP government health and assessment investigation. And then now focuses on agriculture, law, roads, education, health, and tourism. How are these sectors allocated in the budget? Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Minister. My name is David Yason. I heard from the level of this people. Mr. Minister, the normal traditional approach to budget presentations at the National Legislature is the Prime Minister presenting right now the President.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. I'm James N. Bala, and I'm here from Liberia County, and I report for North Africa. Honorable Minister, thank you so much for your information. Again, the government has spoken over the years since the sections, asking about this transition of local government. This is lieutenants across 15 counties. So, thank you so much for the allotments in regard to civil service operations. But this is one recommendation, sir. Our ministers in Liberia, the current living standards in regard to the minimum wage is 150 for earning individuals in this country is very low for because it's the recommend in the next presentation of budget that at least someone can have a taste for the 150 minimum wage bill to go to the next level. Thank you.
So my name is Archie, second in a report of this region. I work for information, work for the Minister of Finance. So the Minister of Finance deliberated well on the budget. In recent times, the people living with disability have been advocating for educational institution, specifically for the people living with disability. And I didn't hear anything concerning people living with disability. So can you tell us, the media, and Liberian people, what is the development and the 2025 fiscal year budget for the people living with disability? And told the Ministry of Information, yesterday from your release concerning the submission of the national budget, told the clerk of the legislature. The Liberian people are eager to know because there is this controversy surrounding the submission. In your release, it stated that it was submitted to the chief clerk, and they allege in public, on the contrary, that it's being submitted to the deputy chief clerk, which is in possession of the majority brothers, headed by the deputy speaker. So can you please clarify as to whether the budget was presented to the office of the chief clerk and not the deputy chief clerk?
So, good afternoon, Mr. Minister. I am J.H. Webster, playing our work for British African newspaper. Thank you for your presentation. I mean, you mentioned a whole lot that information can do all the time. But I didn't hear you talk about the current state of the Liberian economy. Mr. Minister, it will interest you to do that. Many people are complaining, many Liberians are complaining about the hardship as it's intended. But then the economy is bad. My question to you is, what are the concerns for Liberians about the economy? Is it true? Is it true? If it is true, how soon is the current state of the economy going to get better? Thank you.
All right.
How many questions are found? How many? Last question. Okay, tell the last person.
I'm Larry SDP and I report for SN. Mr. Minister, thank you for the explanation and the budget. We have joint security, and in the joint security we have the police, the immigration, the DEA, and the list continues. And now in your deliberation, you talk about 5,000 police getting insurance. Are there plans also for other, security apparatus like the immigration for also, they are fully there, insurance? Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Ngafuan. I'm Ms. Vettel here, work for Parliament. Minister, I'm concerned about the government's approach to domestic revenue modernization. The previous budget projected by the government was, the executive was at 602. It was increased to 738 by the legislature, and then recast to 721. My concern is, if just about a year ago, the budget was projected at 692 by the executive, and you're now taking it up to 850 million. Will this increase 19% on the previous budget and 15% on the recast? Will this put more burden on the already struggling masses to raise more taxes in trying to support this budget, or are we expected to get more money from additional revenue sources, primarily external sources? Before I get into the questions, I want to tell you that the budget, this is the budget book. See, the budget in fulfillment of our fiscal transparency commitment, the budget has been uploaded on the website of the Ministry of Finance. If I'm not mistaken, it's www.mfdp.gov.nl. So you can go there, download this big book, and help us to do some of the research. I came to a press conference, and yes, I do the budget that encapsulates financial numbers, but the Honorable Acting Minister of Information also gave me a time budget, and I have to operate within his time budget. Including the disabled community and others. I cannot offhand tell you the figures. This is a big book. I don't think the expectation is that I memorize and give you all the details. So please help us in the research. And let me tell you this, members of the press, this is the first public engagement on the budget. We will make ourselves available over the coming days and weeks. I think tomorrow we have an engagement of OKFM, be simulcast, and there will be some panelists. We'll go to other stations. So we'll be out there, and we'll go to the counties and at shops and places. It's not just me, the team, and that this process is an open process, and you have enough opportunity to engage with us. During the budget review and approval process, we'll be hearing. We've heard before the submission, and we can stay here after the submission. So we are hoping that the budget can be